You're staying here, right? We got you. We want you to stay here. We want you to be able to get involved and connect with our brand, with our product, but we have to be mindful of where and how we're going to do that. If we're at an outdoor shopping mall, these things are becoming very, very popular. A sandwich board out front with a QR code on it would be a very, very good, powerful idea. Somebody can scan that, they can opt in, they can shop through all the departments in the store. Very similar to what we've done here. Bandwidth doesn't necessarily come into play. It's mobile optimized, so it's going to be quick, it's going to be immersive. We can then tie them, try to entice them into the store by giving a coupon. That's pretty useful. Tying in your FSIs to traditional media, absolutely. Good opportunity to be able to engage with that. Putting it in, putting that sandwich board out front with, you know, hey, get 10% off Lice if you scan this code. Lice if you scan this code. Again, let's think of how many people want to scan that same code. We want it to be immersive. We want it to make sense. What we did with Anderson's General Store, and this is the brick and mortar that I was sharing with you, they've got over 500,000 SKUs in their department. They have everything from high-end select wine to chainsaws and wood. So they are truly a general store. Great organization. They've got 8 different departments. We started narrowing their optimized website down by 8 different departments and then tying that to a specific tab. At the top here, we want them to opt in. First and foremost, on a mobile optimized website, they're great, they're fantastic, we can utilize them effectively, but we don't capture anything like we capture with SMS. When you send a text message, a consumer, we're capturing that SMS and we have the ability, that's step 1 in an opt-in process, we have the ability to remarket to them instantaneously. If we're accessing a mobile optimized website, we don't necessarily have that. We know what operating system they're on, we know what QR code they scanned, or geographically where they're at, their geo-trackers on. We've got some limited information that we can start tying some matrix to, but we don't know who they are. I want to know that Tyson Higginbotham scanned this code and gave me his email address to redeem a 10% coupon. Now I've got that very powerful information I can tie to my loyalty program or my CRM. So that's what we've done here, is tie in their campaigns. It starts with their website. As you can see, let me back up one. This is their website. It's huge. Content rich. They've got videos. They've got Dan Anderson, the owner. He likes to do the garden videos. They're there. There's tons of content. Same content, structured differently for ease of use. Best practices, best principles. Again, that's why it's very hard to see here. It's also social. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Create your own new QR code, share it with your friends. Again, we want to make sure that this conversation is immersive. When they're opting into their loyalty program, we're doing the same thing. We want them to register, we want them to opt in, we want to get a name, we want to get an address, we also want to get a cell phone number. From that, we can start tying that mobile optimized site together. So we don't necessarily have to, in that text message transfer that went back and forth, we don't have to send this URL. We can send our mobile URL. Now, I've got that captive audience looking and shopping on my site in a very easy manner that fits what they're currently looking at. Their FSIs, again, this is very cluttered. I'm not sure my screen is popping, but these are their FSIs. They spend tons of money. Their original goal as an organization was to not alienate the lesser volume SKUs within their brick and mortar because the big brands were buying them all up. They couldn't get in their FSIs, so therefore they wanted to launch an email campaign that would then increase the volume of those lower functioning SKUs. We tied it together with the QR code. As soon as they scanned the QR code, they hit the mobile site, and then they were able to see those lower volume SKUs right away. We also put it in the brick and mortar. Again, their buildings are structured a little bit differently. I think Home Depot's been very, very good and useful or successful in launching QR code campaigns within their brick and mortar as well. You have to think about the overall space of the brick and mortar as to how much bandwidth you're going to have. But they started to really get the idea that as a brick and mortar, as a brand, as an organization, when companies like Scott's that get it, they've got tons of money to get it. They've got really, really smart people working with really, really big organizations to get it. Well, Scott's is going to come in here and say, hey, you know what, I want the best racks, I want the best positions, I want the end caps, I want everything else that's here. They can get it because they own the crowd. They own the conversation. As a brick and mortar, I think we're going to start seeing some transitions in retail specifically over the next 3 to 5 years. Who owns the conversation? And And that's where brick and mortars and brands and retailers are going to start leveraging more of their conversations, because if Anderson's has QR codes in here, and they've got 200,000 people that are opted into their loyalty program, and we know that 50,000 of them are scanning soda pop, we've got a real strong message when we go to Coke or Pepsi and say, look, this is our market. We have and can deliver these people to you. Or we can go to lesser SKUs like Knee-High and say, hey, you know what, we can start leveraging your brand across 20,000 people right now, not to mention what we're already selling and previously been basing our entire existence off of, which is the foot traffic into our brick and mortar. Now we can start ad serving these SKUs. Who owns the conversation? It's a give-get, create value. Everything is a give-get. Nobody's going to give any information without getting something back. Specifically cell phones, mobile opportunities. Again, this is our pocket, this is our purse. It's not our email, it's not our desktop that we can click it's out, click it's out. Everybody, that as soon as we leave this breakout session, the first thing I would bet 90% of you are going to do, pull out your mobile phone, see what's going on, check with your whatever, work, office, home. You don't want to be cluttered with a whole bunch of generic offers that are not relevant to you. Tying that all together with the POS system, offering that redemption of the coupon right now, goes back to the register, they check out, it's there. We also have locked into text alerts. We can start putting buying habits, not just delivering relevant email content, but we can start delivering relevant text messages as well. So if I'm going into Anderson's General Store and I'm buying power tools, and I've bought 10 power tools for the last 10 weeks, then I can start getting messages sent to my mobile device telling me that they're going to have a sale on power tools in the next 2 weeks. Or tomorrow. Again, going back to that golf scenario where I can have people take instantaneous reaction based off of my messaging that I push out. Their circulars used to be the foundation of everything that they did with their SKUs. Now their SMS is becoming more and more and more powerful because I can get people to take action right now. What you need to know about applications, I'll buzz through this because I'm running short on time here. I know everybody's getting sleepy and hungry. They were quick to get to market. There's a ton of them. Based off the operating system, the more apps you have, the more consumers are going to buy your product because the more fun they can have. It makes sense, right? The problem is 1 in every 4 apps is never used or downloaded more than once. How many people have a whole bunch of apps living on their phone that they don't use anymore? I know I do. So the average new person that acquires a new smartphone has access to all this new world of applications. They download on average 26 apps. They typically keep it useful. And a lot of those are Angry Birds and, things that are fun that take us away and that escape. If we're not going to the Motor City Casino, then we're going to our mobile device. You're going to see these change and focus specifically on immersive experience. I've got kids 7 and younger all the way to 7 through 2 and 1. They're into Legos. Legos are great. Legos is launching a huge, huge promotion. They're building these Lego lands all across the states, and they now have an application because they realize that their target market demographic, 2 to 8, wants to build Legos. So the application is kind of an Angry Birds type of an application for kids, which is way cool, except for the fact that you always get your phone back, it's all boogery and smeary and everything else. They're now engaged. What's the easiest way to get an adult or a parent to separate themselves from their money and have their kids push and say, hey, look, there's coupons, there's free park passes that just came up on the app. Fantastic. Now once we're actually at the location, we can make our park visit more immersive. We can visit all of the different things around the park. We can make that experience more effective for that end user, which is going to increase their overall satisfaction, which increases the opportunity for them to return. This same application, the reason why I chose this application, is the same way you can deploy this in a retail or in a consumer or business-to-business fashion. The end user experience increases the satisfaction. Mobile CRM, this is fantastic. And huge healthcare organizations, Volvo, they've adopted this very, very early. They've outfitted their sales force with tablets. It makes sense. We made investments as organizations when the economy made its big shift. We started to refocus our attention as brands and businesses to say, who is our customer? What do they do? What do they want from us? And how are we going to deliver that information? Well, now all of a sudden, we can outfit our sales staff that's in market right now with tablets to be able to drive a specific presentation with a consumer or a prospect. On that, we can drive that presentation or conversation in a linear fashion based off of how we want to walk them through that presentation. No longer do we have the big slicks and the binders and the, the media that we had to print, and then as soon as we had a single change, we had to reprint that and insert it in. And now, instead it's real time. We've got our Salesforce staff with the most up-to-date content, information rich. We're talking about a presentation group of probably 4 or less, so it's very personal. While we're going through that, they connect back to the CRM. We now, as soon as they leave that, or as soon as they have that dialogue or conversation with that end user, in this case, with healthcare, the physician, they can put the order in, they can set the next trigger, so their information right there on target, on spot, is updated. Their actions are set, the plan of attack is set, so therefore, they have nothing else to do but go focus on the next deal. Or that next deal is the CRM populated that next step on that next prospect, so now we can go in and actually close that deal. We're shortening the sales cycle by giving our sales staff more information in a relevant time that is directly representative to the consumer we're speaking with, as opposed to a broadcast of, let's start here and see what they're interested in. Mobile CRM in healthcare, apps and educational tools and mobile existing websites. Huge growth, 76%, 58%. They're making investments, and not just in healthcare. This is going to happen across any major sales force that's in market. They want to shorten that sales cycle. You want to, specifically in the Volvo case or scenario, you want to make sure that your inventory is available to your prospects when they want it, and when your salesperson is able to sell it. What to look for in the future? Do we have any questions so far? Yes?
Hey, you know space shuttle can discontinue, right?
I do. This is not what you're going to look for in the future. See, I didn't think that through. Meeting adjourned. Near field communication. NFCs, has anybody read anything about these, seen anything about these? These are pretty cool. And in fact, the CBS this morning piece was on mobile devices and how consumers are scared about giving their information to anybody because anything that they do on the mobile device is not necessarily an HTTPS security server. Therefore, it's a little less of a comfort feeling. Google Wallet has based and launched their entire platform off of NFC. Strong. It's got a huge bunch of potential. Right now we're having a little trouble, the developers are having a little trouble because there's only about 2 devices that are currently actively able to do it. What it is, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it support the Asian markets and the Asian markets use, but they have the whole infrastructure behind it set up to support it.
You're absolutely right. Well, the States are probably about 5 years behind where the Asian markets are in happening in mobile. So you see firsthand what's coming here. You actually have to be within 3 centimeters millimeters of the device. You're taking your smartphone, and it is actually going to touch. You see these on pay passes. You're starting to see these pop up on registers all over the place. So it's a secure transfer. Your data is encrypted, and it's passed specifically to that retailer for means of payment, information sharing, content. You can go mobile to mobile. Yes, sir.
So you read an article, cost is an issue and the debate between banks based on and retailers.
You're right.
You actually get about how much it costs retailers is the most and
Yes. The big challenge right now is actually getting the mobile devices to be able to support it. With only 2 mobile devices currently supporting NFC, it makes it difficult for anybody else to make a huge investment because their consumers aren't necessarily tied to it. So what have we done as marketers in the meantime? We've made a huge deal with PayPal. Anybody read any of this? PayPal is now the preferred method and the method to be able to transfer information securely by your phone, make payments. So as much as NFC is in our future, it's been adopted overseas, it's been used very, very frequently. We're going to see that unfold. You're going to see more NFC, but that's going to really be a battle now between PayPal and NFC. And I think anything that's healthy makes both more effective. So, good question. Banks, credit card companies, all of those organizations are scrambling. You see Chase has Jot. You see every banking facility out there that is now trying to create some kind of mobile optimized product where consumers can engage with them more frequently. Now we've got another opportunity. It's pretty easy for them because they just have a secure opportunity to be able to transfer their data. Does it decrease their cost of having plastic cards in people's pockets? Perhaps. Here's another, I'm going to show you 2 quick videos, some upcoming stuff, some beautiful work.
Retailers clamor for consumers' attention every day, bombarded them with messages that are impersonal, irrelevant, and ultimately ignored. But there is a way to cut through the clutter, connect personally with customers, and put relevant offers right in the palms of their hands. SmartPing lets retailers deliver personalized promotions to their best customers when they're in close proximity to a store. Users simply download the free app, pick the retailers they shop most, and set the frequency of payments. Retailers upload targeted offers, and when customers get close by, they just step into the store, show the promotion on their smartphones, and step out with cool stuff. Shoppers get the perks they want at the places they want, and retailers get direct communication that drives immediate traffic, plus rich back-end reporting to evaluate their success. It's mobile marketing at its most effective. No cards, no coupons, no clutter. We call it SmartPing. You'll just call it smart.
That's smart, huh? Foursquare launched about a year ago at Southwest. Foursquare 2 years ago, I think. Came out, it was huge. Everybody thought, oh, this is going to be the next best thing.